Hello, everyone, and welcome to First Day Pod. I am your host, Leanne. Hello. Michael Govier will not be with us tonight, but he does say hello and may join us in the comments tonight. We'll see. So I am so excited for this episode. I'm usually excited for every episode, but this one is a little bit more special, and I will tell you why in a moment. If you guys are new to us, we are First Day Pod, and we're all about shared wisdom, education, and empowerment. We want to make every day the best first day we can, because it's always a chance for us to start new. It doesn't matter what happened yesterday, how good or how bad. We have a chance to do it all over tonight. So here's my favorite part. Whenever we have people, we always do this live every Tuesday night at 8 p.m. And so then you're able to be a part of the show. All you have to do is comment either in Facebook or YouTube or Twitch, and then we're able to bring your comments up. Josh says, hello, no background tonight. No background tonight. I can't get it to work properly. I don't know what's going on with my lighting. So no, I will not have a background. But thank you for letting me know, because if I forgot, that would have been easy. And that's one of the things that I love, is that our community is always checking in on us and making sure that we're, doing this as a team. So Ed says, I like Au Naturel. Well, thank you, Ed. Great. Okay. So if you guys also are new to us, then the other thing that I want to let you guys know is that we do have a book club that we do every Monday night, 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. And, they're always really good self-development kind of books. There's always lessons in it, but the big thing is the discussion that happens within that book club every week. So that's my favorite part. It really is the community, and that's what tonight's show is all about. It's all about community and what is involved in that. So throughout the months, you guys have heard me say quite a few times that I'm really excited for us to start a community, that we're going to be starting a community, and it has been on my heart to do, but I just haven't committed to it. I just haven't pulled the trigger and said, here's what it's going to look like. This is what we're going to do. And it is just getting to the point that, like, I really feel like we need it. And one of the things is that Mike and I, we both work full time. And not that that's an excuse, but to add a bunch of other things to, the podcast, instead of just doing the podcast, to have a bigger, kind of more robust community, it means that there's going to be more time involved for us to keep all of those going. So I think what we're going to do is we are going to do like a paid version of a community, like a membership. We're going to keep it really low. That way everybody can be involved in it. It'll be like a monthly thing. And this way it will help us when we're, doing all of these things throughout the month. But it'll also keep it low enough that everybody can be a part of it. Because one of the things that I'm really realizing is, between the book club and this, we've got Monday night, Tuesday night, and we get people you guys are here every single week, and then it drops off. Then we don't see each other until the following Monday, right? So we have the entire week. I don't know about you, but when I listen to the show, I get really excited because I'm like, okay, that's it. I'm taking on my life. Tomorrow is going to be the first day of the rest of my life, right? And you go to bed and you get up, and then life hits you. And then you're like, okay, well, I'll do the thing that I said I was going to do later on today. And we're not doing it. And so I really feel one of the big things that people are saying right now, especially going kind of into this fall, summer is now kind of done. It's not officially done, but it's pretty much done. Kids are going back to school. We're trying to get into our routine. And it's like, how do I stay on track when life is coming at us? And so that's what I want this community to be for. So even though we're going to have like low entry into it, I want it to be high value. So I want you guys to help me with it. What do you guys feel like you need, and what would help keep you on track? So every day is the first day, right? So you guys have heard the story before. The reason why we called it First Day Pod was because Mike and I would always start anytime that we were like trying to lose our weight or trying to get healthier or trying to get whatever, it would be tomorrow is the first day of the rest of our lives. And that meant that tonight we're going to binge or we're going to make mistakes or we're going to do whatever. And we were putting ourselves like behind instead of like just empowering ourselves to say, right now is the first day of the rest of our lives, no matter what time it is. Right. Like right now, as we're recording, it's 8:07 p.m. And I could choose that right now is the time that I am going to, take control of my day, no matter what the rest of the day look like. So here are some things that I'm thinking of incorporating. And I want to know from you guys, is that something that you guys would want to be a part of? And I don't know what the prices are going to be, but this is what I'm thinking. I'm thinking about having, and I know that this is like, people are like, oh, sign up for this and then I'll tell you what the price is. I just want to work this so then we are building this community together. So my idea is that we will, and you guys know my favorite number is 922. So I'm thinking that we'll have one tier that's $9 and one tier that's $22. The 22 tier will just have a little bit more like one-on-one kind of thing, like more of our time on video, that kind of thing. Maybe Zoom meetings or something like that. And then the $9 one will be a little bit more community. You'll get whatever you get in the $9, you'll also get in the $22. So that's my thinking behind it. And here are the things that I want to include. So I want to include a co-working time. So I already do that with a couple of my girlfriends Monday mornings, 7 to 9 a.m. I know that's not ideal for everybody, but it's really, really good. And the gals that are in it love it because that time we normally, like the majority of us, we start on Monday and it's like you kind of drag yourself out of bed and you start the day and you hate Monday and you don't want to like go into the day, right? So Sunday you're just like, "Oh, my weekend's over." What we do is we meet up for 2 hours on Zoom and um, we announce, right at 7 o'clock what we're going to do. So I'm going to, and we usually do things that we all like, we want to get accomplished that week, but we know always gets on the back burner. And so we'll say, okay, I've been wanting to put out this newsletter. I'm going to do the newsletter today. And we just announce it. 7:05, we're done. And from 7:05 to 8:55, we work and we work on Zoom. And you can either take the video off or keep it on. It's up to you. You just mute yourself. And so you're kind of working together on those goals of things that you wanted that we feel like we don't have time, but now it's a scheduled thing on our calendar. So that's one thing that I want to include in that. Some of the other things, and sorry, I should have, I ran upstairs and came back down and I still have not caught my breath. This is so silly. So some of the other things that we want to include is accountability. So we say that we're going to do these things, but then we lie to ourselves, right? We're like, okay, today or tomorrow, I'm going to go for the walk. I'm going to start movement first thing in the morning. And then we don't. And then we lie to ourselves. And then we like feel bad that we lied to ourselves. And then we just move on with our day. And then we say, okay, tomorrow we'll do it. Well, if you had somebody that was checking in with you every day. And so that is going to be a piece where we're going to do every day. And that'll probably be a part of like the second tier where every day we have a check-in to kind of remind you. And I'm not going to say like, okay, Carly, you said you were going to do this thing, but I will check in and say, okay, here's the time. Like, let me know what you guys have done. Let me know what you guys want to accomplish today. So then we're kind of having that check-in point, right? So I want to do that. Let me know if that would be helpful. If you guys feel like you have ideas of what you want to do, but you're like shy to put it in the comments because you know that I'm going to put you up on the podcast, you can also email us firstdaypod@gmail.com, or you can DM us or Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all the places, at First Day Pod. Okay. So those are a couple of the things that we want to do. We want to have daily motivation. So not just like, oh, you're the best. You are, but ideas of like what can move the needle forward you know? Um, we want to give, I'm always into personal development, always, always, always. I'm always listening to different podcasts and different YouTube videos and different neuroscientists and all these kinds of things. And I want to have a place that I can share that with you. So that will be included. I am so I'm so excited about this because there's just so many things that we want to do that we've been having kind of on our head. Me more so, and Mike is like, just do it. You just got to get it out there, And I'm going to. So it's not really it's not going to be coaching, it's not going to be therapy, it's not going to be anything like that. It's just going to be a place that we can all come to, be together and get our stuff done. So today is the best first day of the rest of our lives. And every day can be the best first day of the rest of our lives. Think about how much further along we could be if we actually did the things that we said that we were going to do that day. And I'm not like calling you out because I'm the same way. I've been dragging my feet on this community for months, if not years, to be quite honest. And it's just a matter of I just have to put it out there. So, what I am going to do is I'm going to give it a deadline because I know that unless you give yourself a deadline, nothing gets done. So next week, I'm going to announce. I'm going to announce the website that it's on. I'm going to announce the tiers. I'm going to announce what's in it, all that kind of thing, and it's going to be launched next Tuesday. So Tuesday, September 12th, it is. That's when it's going to be launched. So if you're listening to this in the replay and it's not quite September 12th yet, and you think, oh my gosh, I don't know why they didn't think of this, but I would love to see this part of it, DM us or email us and let us know because we can incorporate that. And it's going to be something that is going to keep iterating. Every month, there's going to be things that we're probably going to grow, and we're going to say, okay, nobody's using this piece of it, but I'm realizing that we need more of this. And so we'll switch that up until we get into a groove, but we can't get into a groove until we start the thing, right? So that's why I am going to kind of do this. So Josh says, what about daily? Oh, wait, let me put this up here. There we go. What about daily afternoon coffee talks, like midday check-ins with seeing what people have accomplished and giving motivation? I love that, like a halftime show kind of thing. Yes, that would be amazing. And we could definitely do that 100%. And they don't have to be long. That's what's nice about this is that I don't want, I talk about this all the time that, oh, hi, Becky. Hi. I talk about this all the time that like if we say, "Oh, I don't have any time," but then yet you're here listening to this podcast for 45 minutes, that was 45 minutes that you could use toward that thing that you want to get done, right? So all of these things that we're going to do, I don't want them to be long and drawn out, but having that checkpoint, like seeing somebody's face or hearing somebody say, "Oh, did you do that thing? Where are you at?" I think that's a great idea, Josh. So we can definitely incorporate that. Okay. And how would you like that? Because I think what we're going to do is we're going to do it on Patreon for right now. I'm going to tell you just completely honestly, I have been spending so much time trying to figure out how to do this and how to make it the easiest for everybody. And Mike has told me just use Patreon because he uses it for his community that he has for his sports. And he loves it. It is the coolest thing. I've like heard these guys and they get on audio and they're able to talk to each other and they're able to do like this stuff in Discord, which I don't know what it is, but I got to learn it. And it's really cool because it takes you off of Facebook and it takes you off of all of these other platforms that we get distracted on. And it's this own kind of entity that we can kind of go into and have this room. And so Mike's been saying, just use Patreon, set it up. It's really easy. It'll be really easy for everybody else to be able to use something with like, oh no, it must be harder. We must be more difficult or more cumbersome. No, it doesn't. So it is going to be on Patreon. So I like when we do the coffee talks, would like audio be cool that we're kind of like we can all be in the room and kind of like check in? Or would you want to have more of like my video that I'm doing a video and you're commenting? Those are the kinds of things that I want to know what you guys are liking. Also, when you guys are joining, if you guys do decide to join, I want there to be constant communication. So, and I'll get that from what you're showing up for and what you're not showing up for. So Ed says, I'm just thinking doing something daily could represent accountability and a sense of accomplishment, or could feel like shaming. A reminder that I have done nothing today. Just something I would be concerned about someone experiencing. Yes. Okay. So that is a really good one, Ed. I'm going to come back because I see you say something else. I think it's important to include something like book club, something I'm grateful for or proud of doing. Awesome. Yes. I was thinking about that too. So we have our book club that we meet every Monday. And I'm thinking of maybe closing membership for that, even though that's free. But I'm thinking about closing that because if we start having more people join that particular one, we've already got our people that we kind of run out of time at the end of the hour. So maybe we'll have a book club. I'm doing a book club in another group, and I'm hosting it. And what I do is I go on and we do a chapter a day. That might be too much. But we do a chapter a day and we actually just check in for like 5 to 10 minutes. And that's it. We check in and we're like, okay, here are the action steps. Here was the big takeaway. So we're kind of like working through the book together every single day. We could do potentially something like that and pick a different book and piece it out. Now, I do want to get back to Ed. Josh, I see you have a comment. I'm going to come back. Actually, let me do that one right now. So he says, one, to start the day for discussing our goals for the day or such, and then an afternoon check-in and mood boost motivation, and then evening discussions on what we have accomplished or reassurance that if we didn't meet our goal, that it's okay too, and that we made an effort. Yes. Okay. So I'm glad I read that one after Ed's. So that is really good. We can do that. I also want to consider sustainability, right? Like, am I going to be able to commit to the morning, afternoon, and night? So I'll have to see what that is going to mean. If it's going to maybe mean posts that come in, and then if I can kind of do the audio version, then that's a bonus kind of thing. But we can have those check-ins that we can all be accountable. That way, if at 7 o'clock at night, you come on and you're like, okay, guys, guess what? I'm super proud. I did this thing, whatever. And then Ed can come on at 8 o'clock and be like, yeah, guys, you know what? I really wanted to, but something happened at work and I wasn't able to do it. And then I can come in at 9 o'clock. So maybe we do a portion like that as well, that there can be like replay. So it's, there will be live things during the day, but maybe also pieces that like whenever you pop in, you can kind of comment. So that might be a good idea. And oh, Tommy's here. Hi, Tommy. Okay, so I don't know if you've been here for the whole time, but we're talking about building a community, kind of accountability, and to get ourselves to like really be working toward the things that we want to do. Because here's the whole thing, guys. Happiness, it's nice to say like we can just create happiness just by thinking about it, but ultimately it comes from having a sense of purpose and like living into that purpose, whatever that purpose is. And we had this conversation a couple weeks ago when we were here, or maybe it was last week. Time just flies. And so that's why I really want to make something that's much more tangible throughout the week, so we're not just going Tuesday to Tuesday kind of thing. Josh says small video journals people can share and other can check. Maybe that's a great idea. I'm gonna ask Mike, but I'm pretty sure that on Patreon you guys are going to be able to put your video journals on there too. So that's a brilliant idea. And here's where I was getting hung up is I was like, okay, maybe this would be a good place for it to be on Facebook. But the reason why I really want to try to stay away from doing that is because and I'm hoping that by using that word, that they're not going to like cut me off of this. Anyway, but the reason why I want to stay away from that is because when we're in that zone, then notifications are very easy to pop up, right? And get us out of there and not focused on what we're doing. So that's why I'm really thinking about being inside of this membership site, that you're inside of there. So you're really being committed and focused on what you want to create. So I love that, Josh. And then Ed, I want to go back to what you were saying. So there could be a piece that's going to be a sense of accomplishment or cause people to feel shamed. Here's what I'm hoping. And I will monitor this and I will make sure if anybody is shaming anybody in this group, you're out. That like zero story. There's no like, oh, I didn't understand. There's none of that. And I think because of the culture that we're creating, at least I'm hoping that we're creating on this show, is that you guys know that there is no shame in this. The whole premise of this podcast that we started 3 years ago was because Mike and I never started. We always started tomorrow and tomorrow never came. So we're doing this as a community together because we all need to. We're all human. So I'm going to make it very clear that there will be zero shaming and that is something that we need to work on as a collective, that we don't feel guilty when we don't do the thing, because there is going to be days that Josh is going to hit it out of the park and he's going to be like, "Oh my gosh, you guys, like you're not going to believe this. I did da 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 and I feel so amazing." And on that same day, I'm going to come in and be like, "Way to go, Josh. That's amazing. I did nothing that I wanted to do today. But tomorrow's another day and I'm going to do it tomorrow." Or it might be 7 o'clock at night and I'm going to say, "You know what? I'm going to do one thing. You really inspired me and I'm going to do one thing on that list right now." Right. So we're going to work together, but there will be absolutely no shaming. So, and that shame that will come naturally because we're human and we're going to compete and we're going to have all of that. We're going to work through it. And I'm hoping that it's going to be honest, like it is in book club, that if you are feeling like, "Oh my gosh, I feel so guilty," or "I feel ashamed that I didn't do this," that you can also in this membership group say it, because we'll be a community. And then that way, if you say, or if I say, "Man, I really feel like a failure," somebody in that group is going to step up. Because if it's not me because I'm sleeping or I'm doing whatever, I know somebody in that group will be able to say, "Hey, that's not true. You're doing so good. Tomorrow's another day, or tonight is another chance," right? So that's what I see for this group. And I think we need to have it as a daily kind of bond that we're growing together. So that's what I'm hoping for anyway. And the only way that we're going to see if this is going to work is by doing it. So, and Mike has been telling me this literally for months. Just do it. Just do it and see what happens. And then grow and then grow. And that's how this podcast happened, guys. Like, if we would have thought about like all of the things, we've gone through what, like 3 different brandings for this. We've gone through where we were first called the first day of the rest of your life. We had like different ideas. It's just a matter of doing it and then growing with it. So I'm super, super, super excited about this. Okay. Ed also says, "I would still include weekly topics for discussion and guests that are interviewed. I always found that interesting." Yes. And the podcast is always going to stay. We're going to always do that weekly. And that's always going to be free. So you're always going to, even if you don't want to be part of the paid community, this show will always remain, always. So, yes. And then that's a great idea. So we can also, while we're having the topic, that topic is going to be generated now instead of just Mike and I deciding, "Hey, this is what we're going to talk about." Now we'll be able to kind of like do that within the community, right? Like we'll see what's showing up, and maybe shame is showing up a lot. And so we'll do a topic in the next couple weeks about shame. We'll get somebody that we can interview, because you're right, Ed, I love that part of it. And we can get somebody that we can interview. And then during that week, we can be talking about that. So that's a great idea. Josh says, "Brene Brown TED Talk on shame." Yes, that one is fabulous. So good. And we've done a lot of Brene Brown in our book club. And so maybe we will do that. Maybe we will have a book club that will be a part of the paid version kind of thing. Okay, so that sounds really good. This is going to end up morphing into something bigger than I could have ever imagined because of you guys, because we're all going to be talking about what we need. For me, I think that like it scares me a little bit to do daily accountability and to have the show like showing up that much on a consistent basis, because then I'm just going to be honest with you guys. I have a fear of letting you guys down, right? I really do. I don't want to like promise something and then I'm not there for you guys, but I'm also really excited about doing it because that's what brings me joy. Like, I love tonight. I love being just in community with you guys and chatting. If we didn't have this comment section, if that wasn't part of the show, I swear, I think our podcast would be like 15 minutes. I would just come in and be like, okay, so here's the topic. Let's do it. But it's the back and forth. And that's what I'm really excited about kind of growing and doing. So we'll see how that will all kind of pan out and work out. I'm also really like, okay, so what are some of the other things? I made a list of some of the things. So let me just kind of open that up and see a couple of the other things that I was thinking about that we could do. Okay, so one of the things that I was thinking about, okay, is inspiration. And I want to talk to you guys about that. Do you guys feel, cuz I don't want to spend the time doing anything that is not going to give you guys value. That is the only reason why I want to do all of this, is because I want to see us grow. I have seen in our book club, and that is only 1 hour every week, okay? But we've been doing it for a couple years now, and I have seen so much growth from people that joined 2, 3 years ago to today. I wish that we videotaped them. I really wish that we would have videotaped the book clubs to see the growth. And I know the same thing is going to happen in here. So let's see. Josh also says maybe offer an extended podcast on Patreon for premium members if they want to continue topics. Oh, yeah, that's a great idea. Okay, so can you elaborate on that? Like, are you thinking do like a different show? So like if let's say today was on shame and we did, the 45-minute podcast, that we would then maybe inside of the paid, we would do like another half hour or something, continuing to talk about that same thing and doing it kind of the same way. That's what I'm thinking. I think that'd be a great idea. Unless you saw it unraveling some other way. Yeah, this would all be fabulous. And I think then we'll be able to see. So with Mike, it's really cool because, we'll be in the middle of something. And then he'll be like, oh, I got to go and talk to the guys. I'll be right back. And like in the beginning, I was like, what is happening? And now I just realized he's getting on Discord or like inside Patreon, there's like a Discord. And he just goes on and he's talking to the guys, about like what they're going to be. I don't know what they're talking about. Anyway, so it's all sports. I don't get it. But they're talking about it and they're all enjoying it and they all know what time to like kind of meet and do it, and they do kind of what we're doing here, but in an audio version, which is really neat. And I want to incorporate more of that than the video because I know that a lot of people are uncomfortable with video. But the audio, you can just show up. So if you're in your pajamas, you're able to just be there and be talking with us. So I do want to incorporate that part of it a lot more than the video, even though I love video because I love watching people talk. Like in book club, I get really uncomfortable if somebody can't put their video on when they're talking. During the rest of the thing, I don't care. But when they're talking, they know I want to see them, because otherwise I'm like, I don't even know where to look. Like, so I want to be able to incorporate both of those and just handwritten. So the journaling too. Josh was talking about video journaling, but I'd also like to incorporate something in there that people can be kind of texting, and just so you can kind of be writing out the things that are on your mind. Josh says, yes. Okay. So that's probably about that extended podcast portion of it. Josh says, I'll build a free website to access regular podcast. Okay. We used to have that. I had created a website that auto-populated all of our things, and I don't know what I'm just going to say I don't know what I did with it. Like, oh, it must be hanging around here somewhere. I just don't remember where it is, if it was on. Okay, we'll talk about that. Josh, that would be amazing. Um, and then that's also something like I want to know where you guys are going to be at. Like, does blog form, does reading blogs help you? Does it? Because if it does, I'm not great at writing. But I can, while I'm like researching things, because I feel like I'm always researching, um, I can put like maybe a newsletter. Like, would a newsletter coming to your email once a week or once a month, would that be helpful? I'd like to know that. Because again, my question is always going to be, no matter what we do, is it helpful? Would it be helpful? And if we think it might be helpful, we'll try it. We'll try it. And then if it's not, we'll stop it and then we'll move on to something else. Um, Josh says, give me ideas and I can create a digital community landing spot. Okay. Yeah, let's talk about this because this is awesome, Josh. Yeah, we can definitely talk about it. Would we still use Patreon? Would that probably still be the best thing because it's already created? Um, Josh says digital newsletter with email list. Yes. So that's what I was thinking too. I'd like to be able to do a newsletter because then that goes right to your inbox. Actually, Patreon, what I'm learning is that also the notifications goes to your inbox, which is kind of cool. So you don't have to remember to log in. You'll get emails that will be a notification like, oh, they're going live or they're doing this thing. So you'll always be in the know. But the newsletter I find helpful um I find it really helpful because like in my design business, um, I don't read everything that Anne Sachs or Jen Eyre or whatever is sending me, but they send me newsletters all the time. So I'm up to date. I can go and look and be like, oh, okay, that looks cool. That looks great. Oh, that's new. And I really like that. So I feel like if we had a newsletter that was kind of like maybe a digest of what happened that week, or if we're doing a topic on shame, maybe there's like some links in there that can like further the education piece of it. So we can talk about that too. And actually, when we first started the podcast, I had laid out a thing because that was like, I wanted to do a newsletter right away. And then I didn't, of course. Like, it's fine. Everything happens for a reason. It's okay. But I'm just really excited about getting this going. And that's why I've literally had this banner for episode fill in the blank, community, what's involved, since July. And I've just been like, episode 118, episode 119, and now we're at episode 125 and finally just talking about it. So I am so grateful for you guys to be here to have this conversation with me, help me figure out what you guys need. And I'm loving that you guys do agree that it is like a daily thing. It is the first day every day for us to move our lives forward. So, Josh says, okay, you can give me a link to Patreon from the free site. Oh, yeah. Okay. That's cool. We can definitely do that. Ed says, in my opinion, it's the interaction with others supportive. I'm not sure I would follow newsletters. However, link videos, etc., could be very beneficial. Yes, I agree, Ed. The newsletter will not be in lieu of this. This is what we need because we can go on the internet and we can find a million articles on how to stay on track. We can find a million articles about, how to be happier or how to be more successful or how to whatever. And what I'm finding, it's this part, it's this friendship, it's this community that is lost. And I have joined a lot of communities, and I'm going to tell you what I do when they're on Facebook. They're all on Facebook, at least the ones that I'm joining. I don't do anything with them because then I go in, I have the intention that I'm going to go into this community and it's going to be, like-minded, they're kitchen designers, and I'm going to go in and I'm going to be a part of that group, and I'm going to feel like I'm together with them. But then what happens is I go onto Facebook and then they're ding, 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 and I go and do something else. 10 minutes goes by. I haven't even got into my group. And then I'm gone because I'm like, I don't have any more time. That's why I want it to be something separate. So then we can build this. Just like right now, when you guys come in here and you're watching it, it shuts off the rest of the things because you're in YouTube and you're watching this, right? If you were reading this article, then you would very easily get distracted somewhere else. But we're in conversation. So I agree with you, Ed. That will not change. Josh says we can send the newsletter to email and updates on the free site. Okay, so that's awesome too, to kind of keep people up to date with what's going on. That's really cool. I'm telling you, these comments, this is what I love about our group. Okay, so Ed says community is part of action. Reading is like thinking about doing something. Just do it. Amen. Yes, sir. Josh says, create a website that is a community home base that's free to access, but can give people options on how involved in the community they want to be. Awesome. I love that. I love that, Josh. And if it's a website, again, it's doing the same thing, keeping us off of Facebook. It's keeping us just on a dedicated kind of site. And I'm not naive. I know that we still have our phones, right? I know that there's still always going to be distraction. But this way we're able to kind of focus in a little bit more. And to be quite honest, it doesn't take a lot for us to feel accomplished. Like, I don't know about you, but it's not a matter of me. It's not a matter of me like doing 30 things today. And if I don't do all 30 things, I don't feel accomplished. Sometimes it's as easy as doing one thing. One thing, and I actually just do it like this, talking about this community. This has been on my heart for years. And now we've had 36 minutes of discussing it. And I feel like my whole week is accomplished. Like I'm going to be on cloud 9 for the rest of the week until next Tuesday when I say, okay, guess what we have, you guys? It's all put together. You can be there. Let's get together. So it's not a matter of the big things. It's just these little things that we actually take action on. Just like Ed was saying, that's what the community is all about, is about taking action. Okay, so Josh says with a free podcast stream and have an extended podcast through the Patreon. Awesome. Yes. Okay. So we are definitely going to do this. This is so, so cool. Okay. There we go. Okay. And Mike is calling me. Oh, because usually we're done by now. Okay. Well, that's fine. And then Josh also says you can put brain teasers, different videos from people like Brene Brown, etc., and all types of other things to the site. Yes, that's what I want. So what we had done originally when I had this website that I had put together, there was like a resources kind of page. And so you were able to get all of these things that I already knew about, like that I was looking at. I was like, oh, that's really cool. I wish that they knew about this. And I can't obviously just be like, okay, so guys, www. Da, 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 da. So I wanted a place where you could link out to the things that are really like honing in on what we're doing. And I also like the idea of having like weekly themes of what we're talking about, maybe even monthly themes, and then we can break it down weekly. That might be cool too. And also, like I'm sure Mike would tell me, it doesn't need to be completely structured. We can let this just organically grow, because really that's what's happened with this podcast. We started and it was, no sugar. That's how we started. That's how we really grew. And then we realized like it's not just no sugar. It's all of it. And it's the accountability, and it's the mental part, the mindset part. So it's been really interesting how it's kind of all been going. Josh says, well, I am kind of talented when it comes to web development, laugh out loud. Yeah, it's like, I don't know. Do you have some sort of degree in that or something, sir? Yes, he is a wizard, and we are so grateful to have him as part of not only our community, but family. So Josh, that would be amazing. And you know what? Josh has been telling me this also for a while. Like, we need to get going on this. And I don't know why I've been dragging my feet. I guess Mike said that he thought that maybe it was because I had a fear of failing. And I was like, no, I don't think that's what it is. I don't think that's what it is. And it's not, I'll tell you, I don't think it's a matter of me failing, because I don't care. You guys know I come on here and I'm like, man, that didn't work out. And I'm okay with me failing, but I don't want to fail you. And what I'm realizing, what I'm really, really finding is the only way to fail you guys is to not show up with you guys. So that's why I was just like, tonight was like, that is it. We just need to get this thing together so we can just like grow and thrive and just live our best lives together. Um, so anyway, so I'm super, super excited. Ed says, I've been a manager for 1 week. Someone told me that it is amazing. I can be nice and manage a team. Had a few incidents where I needed to provide support. Today was definitely an accomplishment just being me. That is awesome. Okay, so Ed, that is incredible, and he is one of the nicest men ever. And I think that's what's going to make you a great manager, truly. And you just hit it right on the head. And that's going to be something too that I want to incorporate, that we're going to be able to share our little wins. Because here's the thing. I am not, this is not going to be, I made it very clear that I don't want there any shaming, anything. But also what I do not want this to be is I don't want this to be a bitch fest. I don't want this to be where, oh, I'm not doing anything. And like, oh, I know, me neither. And oh, I can never. And I don't want to hear any of that, because you can go to Facebook and we're going to be able to do that there. And it's not going to be a toxic positivity thing where just it's all rainbows and butterflies, but it's going to be a place where we're able to say, oh my gosh, I didn't do the things that I was supposed to do. What can I do to move forward? Right? Like, what can I do? So that's what I'm going to want this group to really be about. It's not pretending that everything is great, but we're not going to sit in the negativity of what we haven't done, because I think that is almost worse. Well, it's not worse than shaming, but it's just as bad as shaming, because we're shaming ourselves and then we're keeping ourselves in that spiral. So I want us to be celebrating our little wins. And I love that Ed is primed and ready to go. I think that's going to be really important. And we can be honest about, hey guys, like, I wanted to do this thing and I haven't done it. Um, how do I move forward? And being able to help each other move forward. So Josh also says we can create a topic pool of what is on people's minds. We can pull from these ideas from the community on the site, allowing people to create a community that's free to everyone and also provide more benefits behind Patreon. Awesome. Okay, and allow access to everyone. I love it. Okay, so this is great. So, Josh, we will have a discussion and try to figure out what this is all going to look like. And no matter what it's going to look like, I know it's going to develop and build into something. Um, you know, we don't know what it's going to look like, but whatever, it is going to start on Tuesday. So, keep giving us your ideas. It may even start earlier than that. I don't know. We'll see. But I'm putting a deadline on it. So, the next Tuesday, when you guys meet us back here, 8 p.m. Eastern time on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch at First Day Pod. I want you to join us and we will tell you all about what we have in store for you now. And then we'll just keep growing it into whatever it will become. So thank you guys so much. Josh says, we need to create a community that can lean on each other when we need pick me ups. Yes, and to help each other brainstorm about different ideas with people's life situations. Yes, absolutely. That's a great way to say it. So I want it for us to be able to lean on each other, because that's what good relationships are. Is we're not all going to be doing really great, but the only reason why I said that piece about I don't want us to get into the bitch fest or get into the I know I suck too, like I just can't do it, because it's depleting, and it's so much easier to complain about us not being able to move forward. So if we can lean on each other and then brainstorm about how to get out of that, um, that's what's going to uplift us, and that's what's going to empower us to have the best first day of the rest of our lives now, today. Right? So that's what the whole point of this group is going to be, so then we can move forward. And it's not shaming us that we're in a bad place right now, because quite frankly, I hope all of us are in the worst place that we're going to be right now, and tomorrow will be 1% better. Just 1%. Like, we'll just be a little bit better, because we'll have that accountability and we'll know that, like, okay, you know what? I woke up on the wrong side of the bed. I'm really not feeling it. I'm not feeling motivated. But if I go to the first day club, I know that I'm going to be able to like get motivated and inspired and take action on those things. So um there we go. We need to okay. I will be CTO. So that's chief technology officer. Is that what it is? Okay, that sounds good to me. Oh, I am so excited for this. I love you guys so, so much. And yes, it is. Okay, awesome, Josh. I love you guys so much. And we really do try to keep these under 45 minutes, and we're right here. So I'm going to give you guys all a great big hug. We will see you here next week, every Tuesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time at First Day Pod. If you have any ideas, you're listening to this in kind of the audio version, you have any ideas you want to share with us, please email us firstdaypod@gmail.com. And that goes right to Mike and I. And we are looking forward to hearing from you guys and growing this community together. Love you all. Have a wonderful week. Bye.